Rev up your engines! Today I've got some interesting stuff I've been testing out. And I've tested them out so you don't have to. Now I'm all for finding the quickest, foolproof way to fix problems in your car. And this draw monitor that Power Probe has out has to be the best tool I found for simplicity to find out if you have battery drain in your car. Because if you have battery drain in your car, shut off your car, drains the battery, then it won't start. And modern cars have so much electronics, it can make your head spin. So, you want to see something that's simple. Check this out. Just turn it on. 1, 2, 3. Now it's on. Then you just get it. Plug it into your OBD2 port. Shows the voltage of your car. If your car voltage is low, the battery in this would be powering it. To find out if you have a short, it's very easy. First thing you want to do is roll down the car window. Then we put the draw monitor outside, turn the key off, and take it out of the car. Now if you got a more modern vehicle than this 02 Lexus, and you got one of these keyless remotes, what you really need is a Faraday box. I got this one from 10 bucks on Amazon. You put the key in the box, and you close it, because then this won't be sending signals. If you try to find a short and you got a keyless remote system anywhere near the car, it's going to show a drain because of this. It can't broadcast. Anyway, these Faraday boxes are handy. You should always have one if you have keyless remote. Bring it with you on vacation, motels, wherever you go. Put your keys in there, then somebody can't steal your information and steal your car. Probably the worst thing that could happen would be being on vacation and your car is stolen. So 10, 12 bucks on Amazon, Faraday box. It keeps the signal from going in and out, and people aren't going to steal your car. But this just has a regular key. So now we're going to disconnect the negative terminal of the battery. Now there's no power going to the system. It will find if there's any kind of draws. Now you'll see it's 180, 177 milliamps. That's way too much. The max should be 50 milliamps on most cars. Some modern cars take a bit more, but you notice that was high? Watch. No, it isn't high. It's down to 33 milliamps. What happened? A little bit up, a little bit down. Even this 23-year-old Lexus has a bunch of computer modules. They have to go to sleep. In this case, it only took about a minute. They went to sleep, and then you can see there's not a serious draw in the car. Now, some cars like Volkswagen, whew, some of those things, you gotta wait hours for these things to die down. In the case of some of them, you're gonna have to disconnect the battery overnight and then test it in the morning. But the interesting thing about this machine is it has graph ability, so you could connect this thing, put it on graph, and let it sit. And if something happens overnight, it'll show you. It might show there's a bunch of draw and then it drops down, or it might show you that it doesn't drop down after 12 hours. Then you'd know there's some kind of a short. But what we're gonna do now is the battery's disconnected. Well, we're gonna turn the headlights on. Now the headlights are on, and check it out. Now it's got too much draw. Anything that's drawing, the battery in the device will send power and measure it and see how much it is. In this case, let's say there was actually a short in the lighting system and not just me turning the light on. You just go to the fuse box, you check all the fuses, you'd find out that the lighting fuses are getting power, and then you'd check through that circuitry to see if something was wrong, like a melted wire or something that's broken inside it. The headlight switch, maybe it's not shutting off because it's broken internally. But you can see how freaking simple this is. One of the biggest deals about this is it has smart output. So disconnected the battery, it still powered up the system, so you don't lose memory. A lot of cars, especially German cars, man, if you disconnect that battery, you're gonna have to reset the sunroof, had all kinds of things are gonna have to be reset. And in a Toyota, even the older ones, if you disconnect the battery, it'll start idling weird because it's got to relearn to idle. It'll do it on an older one, just drive it around for a couple of days, but it's annoying that it won't idle right. This will not affect at all because the memory is always there. It also serves as a memory saver. So you got to replace the battery before you take the terminals off. Just plug this thing on, push the smart output. Then when you disconnect the battery terminals and replace the battery, you're not losing any memory. And the big advantage of this tool is reasonably hefty and it will last for quite some time. Plus, when you're done with it, you can recharge the battery when it needs recharging. Hopefully you can see here, it shows the battery up there. It's 3 bars, it's full now. Now I know pro mechanics are gonna get mad saying, well, Scotty, we already have tools. We're able to do this stuff with other tools. Yes, it can be done with other tools, but nothing is as fast and accurate as this thing is. You just plug it in, disconnect the battery, and away you go. Hey, I gotta say, fast, accurate, and as you see, anybody can use a machine like this. This is made for the computer systems. It's not going to overpower anything. Well, the battery's not big enough in this. Okay, it's pretty hefty. You can see it didn't use any power at all during this test. Yeah, you got to recharge it every once in a while, but hey, you got to recharge your phone every day too, so who cares, you know? You don't want something, they could have made it, you know, this big with a huge battery in it, but hey, the thing is, it's small, it's convenient, it works quite well, it even does graphing like I said. It's a phenomenal tool if you want to figure out if you got a parasitic drain in your car. Now, of course, I'm using this all the time to find draws in cars, but it's a great tool for me for a big deal, checking out used cars. Now, every used car I check up, plug this in, take the battery terminal off, watch it, say, oh man, this thing's got a major electrical problem with draw, don't buy the car. You never want to buy a car that has electrical problems because electrical problems can be anywhere. They can tie in. It could be a computer, wiring, sensor, could be all kinds of things. Yeah, you want to fix it if it's your car and it's broken. But if you're thinking about buying a used car and it's got electrical problems, this will show it, walk away, don't buy it. Now next is the 2 for things I've been checking out. The Spacevelo bike and this cool bike camcorder. Of course, it comes with all the hardware. I just bolted on the back of the bike. And you don't want people stealing the camera, so it just snaps on and off. Got a rotating fastener. You find out where it goes. There it is. It's snapped in place. And now it is recording. Now you can mount it wherever you want. I have it pointed in the back because then if somebody hits you, you'll have a record of it for safety. You can mount it on the front. You can mount it wherever you want. But I'm mounting it for safety. And you just drive it around. Something happens, hey, it'll save the accident. You can push it to save it, but it's got a G-force thing that if you get in a wreck, it'll stop and it'll take pictures. Take it for a spin so we can see what happens. Turn the bike on, it's an electric bike, goes with an electric camera. So let's see how it works. Well, I keep trying to connect the camera Wi-Fi. It says it's connected, but even though this is flashing like it's supposed to, it does not work. So the app is pretty much a piece of crap. The money they want for this thing, I would never buy one of these. Now, it is recording, but since it's so cheaply made and it doesn't have its own monitor, you don't know what's happening, you have to take out the mini SD card, which is in here, and it's so poorly made it won't come out. So I have to get a pair of tweezers to get the stupid thing out. I give this a resounding F again. This is a very poorly designed tool. I finally got it out. Now we're down to accelerate my computer, so it's one of those micros, so it goes into the adapter. Boot up my laptop and we'll stick it in, and we'll open folder to view files. And as you can see, it doesn't even work on a computer. Stop the thread, so we're gonna stop right there. So here we have a rare triple failure. The wireless doesn't work. The camera itself, even when you power it on, it's supposed to be recording. It doesn't work, either with the wireless or when you put it in a computer. And that computer I use all the time for video, so I know it works with videos, right? And to add insult to injury, since this doesn't have a monitor on it, you don't know if it's working or not, and it's a bad design to begin with. It's for bicycles, right? It only points one way. They should have had a camera on each end so it goes front and back. As a safety device, you would want a camera to film the front and the back, so if somebody hit you, you'd have proof. So, definitely stay away from the Akeeyo AY71OS motorcycle bike camera because it has more bugs than an abandoned candy factory. Let me tell you, this is one of the worst things I've ever tried out. Great idea. Stick it on your bike so you can see, so you can have safety, right? No, it's a rolling pile of Chinese junk. Their apps often stink, and this app is total garbage. That's one of the reasons I put it on that big phone that I showed you, because that's my burner phone. That isn't connected to anything except internet. When you have it hooked up, there's no information on it. I use it to test things out like this, and if you noticed, when I plugged it into my computer, it said it stopped the virus from coming in. So all I have to say is to this company and their products, I wouldn't touch any of their stuff. If anybody's got a good one they want to send me, hey, just contact me, ScottyKilmer@gmail.com. I'll try it out, but this one is a massive failure. So let's move on to the bike that it was attached to. Definitely not a failure. It's one of the most fun bikes I've been riding around. This thing has got plenty of power. It's got good adjustable front shocks. Now, it doesn't have any shocks in the back, but from my experience, it makes it more stable. The problem with bikes that have shocks on the back is they wear out too fast. Then you got to spend a ton of money, and if you don't, and the shocks are worn, it wobbles all over the place. When I was a kid, I had a 1966 BSA Lightning, one of the fastest motorcycles in the world at the time, and it was chopped. It had no shock in the back. It was just like this, a solid frame, and it handled like a dream. It rode kind of rough, but this is kind of a fun off-road bike. Nice knobby tires. I've ridden it through fields. Everything's held up, no flats, no punctures. As you can see, it's got double piston disc brakes in the front and double piston in the back. Decent Shimano, works good. Motor's really powerful. I get this thing going 30 miles an hour. Speed shifting, down, up. Both disc brakes are hydraulic. Now, they don't use brake fluid. They use mineral oil instead in bicycles, but it works the same. It's using the fluid. Some people call it one of the best all-terrain bikes, and it is. It goes on the road perfectly fine, but when you go off-road, these big tires work great. They don't slip, they don't slide. You can see it's got brake light for safety, and of course a headlight, but it doesn't have turn signals because it's all-terrain. Got decent welds. And it's a big bike, but it's not super heavy. It weighs 84 pounds and it can carry 350 pounds. It's got no problem pulling me up giant hills. It still works perfectly fine. I test things out so you don't have to. And I gotta say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. The Power Pro draw thing works great. That Spacevelo bike is a whole lot of fun. And don't waste your money on that stupid motorcycle bicycle camera, cause it's a pile of junk. The software stinks. The camera doesn't work. The only thing that worked was the bracket that bolted it on, and it didn't come with very good directions, so I had to figure that out myself. And yeah, if you're really trying to find electrical shorts in cars, I haven't found anything as fast and accurate as this thing. Quick, easy, you don't lose the memory of the car, all in one package. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.